That's just cheese strings melted on there. I grilled some corn for James, and that's the salsa. It's a nice sweet salsa. And the smoothie I'll talk about in a minute. That go top of the stack. I decided to put Cat Stevens Magic Hack second.
I'm apprehensive.
And then Hot Salsa Lessons Volume 2.
You put it at the bottom.
I know, it was great, but I have a hard time because they're all worth seeing. Okay, and it's not that...
So it's a different category, right?
Yeah, it's just, I have a lot of tomatoes to weigh to do today too, but I'm going to tell you about the smoothie first. So the smoothie is a green smoothie, that's why the straw is green. So it does have some red in it. It has some Evan sour cherries, because that's the thing this summer. I'm showing that Evan sour cherries makes a great base for every smoothie almost. So we're keep going with the smoothie marathon while we're going with the tomato marathon meals. So
Evan's cherry and
and that Caribbean avocado. We've found that it's I put half of one in there, and those things are
huge,
big. So we found that the Caribbean avocado must be a completely different species than the ones that we're accustomed to getting.
Very different.
I prefer the ones that we're accustomed to getting, although they're small, whatever.
Yeah, you ran across someone when you were younger who loved the Caribbean stuff, and he was from the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, a Jamaican guy had my ex had been had known the guy, so I never met him. But my ex's mother had dated the guy. He was from Jamaica, and he was making fun of the avocados we have. He said he laughed and he said, "We feed those to the pigs," you know, because, and I didn't know. I thought, well, some of them are a bit bigger, but what's the big deal, right? And then I've just run across these Caribbean avocados just this week, and
for the first time.
For the first time in my life. So they were a bit expensive, but I saved it for dessert.
Sometimes things are worth paying a little extra for the...
Then you can eat, you have a plate. If you save that for dessert, you have a plate. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay,
I did this for a reason. I want you to eat that first.
Well, I wanted to melt the butter. But,
well, you don't have a plate until you eat that.
Well, I was going to put it on.
I'm trying to get him to eat more tomatoes, and tempt him with a little corn. He loves corn. He loves tomatoes too, but we just have a lot of tomatoes.
I was just trying to strategize it. It doesn't matter what.
So, anyway, I've run across these Caribbean avocados, and I'm trying out a few things with them, and James thinks they'd make a far better guacamole because they aren't as buttery as the avocados we're accustomed to, but they're softer. So the flesh is softer, it's a bit sweeter, the skin is way thinner, the avocado seeds, the pits, they're huge and not as hard. Not nearly as hard. So when I'm cutting, I have to be careful to cut the avocado because I want to save the seeds to plant them, right? And so far I bought 4 because it was a limit of 4, and I cut into 2 seeds already, just cutting into the avocado, and I felt bad.
The seeds are big, you're saying?
They are big. So I don't think those ones will grow, but we'll see. I planted them anyway. How many
seeds have you saved? Like 12?
Well, I've went through 3 of the 4 avocados so far, just making meals for you, and I've saved 3 seeds. I saved them, you know, I even though I cut them, I've still planted them, and I hope for the best. But we'll see. And the one today looked pretty good. I planted it. I'm hoping for the best. Anyway, so back to the smoothie. So there's a lot of avocado in there. So that's green. And I put some fruit juice concentrate to sweeten it up, and almond milk, and spinach. Lots and lots and lots of spinach. So how's the smoothie today?
Tastes a bit like 7-Up. Maybe that's the spinach.
Weird.
There's something in there. It's a little bit more poppy. I don't think it'd be the fruit juice that you concentrate that you mentioned.
I don't know, just
Really?
the mixture, I guess it worked out that way. But
It's excellent.
it's excellent. Great. That's good.
I think there's only one that where it was kind of, well, where you put a bunch of yogurt or some yogurt in.
Yeah.
That was kind
The
of
grapefruit
different.
ones you weren't having
Oh,
much
right.
luck with. You didn't like those. So,
It's hard to hide that taste. That's what we learned from that experience.
yeah.
Hard to hide that grapefruit taste.
Yeah. So, I'm going to read my poem, Tomato Marathon Meals, which I wrote September 1st, 2025. And it's just a very basic rhythm that everyone should start with if they're going to if they want to start writing poetry. Just write iambically. It is the rhythm that we use most when we speak. So go for it. You have to walk before you dance. So if you're wanting to write song lyrics, and song lyrics should be more rhythmically challenging than this, to be interesting. And often, you'll notice in song lyrics, oftentimes they'll write iambically for the verses, and then the chorus is a bit more interesting. You know, because it's tough. It's tough to write interesting rhythms, using interesting rhythms. So people do what they have to.
The other thing about,
No, go ahead.
The other thing about choruses, you don't have to repeat that rhythm pattern over again.
Yeah.
That's why often they're a lot more complicated or complex, depending on how well they're handled.
And another thing, when James was teaching me how to write poetry for the first while, I'm a very stubborn person, and he was very patient with me. He kept telling me, use single syllable words, and he kept repeating it, and I realize now, yes, when you start writing poetry, use single syllable words, because you're going to run into trouble. You just kept telling me that. For the rhymes primarily. But in any case, for the whole poem, actually use single syllable words. Unless you can't, but it might mess with your, if you're wanting to move into writing song lyrics, it's not only like you have a strong accent and a weak accent. It's more complicated than that. There are secondary rhythms that will mess you up. If you're writing with multiple syllables, words, then it can screw up your rhythm. And then you end up pronouncing your words incorrectly to try to fit the rhythm or something like that, because the rhythm pattern with a song, it has to be repeated. And then there has to be some interest, some change, right? And usually people do that with the chorus, but there has to be some repetition there to pull people along, so they keep. Anyway, so here, this is a very basic. This is just a sonnet. Everybody should start with something like this, because you don't want to go on forever. If you're writing a poem, this is plenty long enough for you to start with, or even shorter, but just to try to be concise, and try to write like you would speak. You can add in some artfulness later on, some metaphors or whatever, try to make it more interesting, add in some colors and this and that. But try to write so that you are understandable. If you're not understandable, when I was young, I'd read poetry or lyrics and stuff, and I'd think, oh, they must be much smarter than me because I can't understand what they're saying. So, they must be a genius, and I'm not. No, a lot of the time people are just really bad at writing poetry and lyrics. And if you can't understand them, it's because their lyrics suck. Sometimes they've maybe they've grabbed onto a good line or two, and they have to try to keep that rhythm pattern, and so then they throw in a whole bunch of filler to keep the rhythm pattern, but it doesn't make sense. And it's not that it's artful. You're thinking, oh, well, that one line or two lines are so great that the rest must really mean something awesome, and it's over my head. No, it usually isn't. So anyway, I will read this poem, Tomato Marathon Meals, which I wrote September 1st, 2025, so yesterday. I harvested 8 pounds of fruit from our tomato plants today. Each has a different attribute, and each is used a different way. Some types feel firm but soft within, while others, fragile to the touch, like handling, could break the skin. Yet these ones rarely split so much. A couple dozen types or more are waiting to become our food. What else would they be waiting for? And luckily, we're in the mood to try tomato recipes, like something that I'll make with these. So it's very easy to understand that. There's nothing really artful about it, but my rhythm is spot on. There's nothing wrong with the rhythm there. And if you can't master walking, don't try dancing. It's just master walking first. Use a simple rhythm and use masculine rhymes, preferably single syllable. Now this, I used a few like attribute. That's not single syllable. Today, well today, and close enough. Within, but recipes. But most of them, they're very simple. And honestly, when you're writing it first, don't use the ones with 3 syllables or whatever for rhyming. You might be tempted, just don't. Use the single.
Well, things like attribute, if you're trying to write a song, the temptation is going to be you're rhyming, that's a beaut.
And then you're going to sing attribute. And you don't want that.
That's a French mispronunciation of English.
So, I had a Cat Stevens song going through my head last night, and I had a hard time sleeping because I was watching this Magic Cat. I had Tuesday's Dead going through my head, and there's one point
Me too. It's a catchy song.
It's a very catchy song, and so I was watching. Okay, well, I guess I'll talk about it because we were going to be talking about this stuff anyway. So all of these are worth watching. We didn't like listening to the Cat Stevens video so much in the van going to the park and whatever, compared to
Poor Pauline had to drive through
the Eagles one, which I don't like the Eagles, but listening to it, boy, do I ever respect it. They were polished. And listening to John Fogerty, polished. Holy gosh!
If you play with him, it's got to be polished, or you're down the road.
Like this is listening to this concert is just like listening to an album, maybe better. It's awesome.
They kind of mic'd it well enough. His voice wasn't deep in the mix, whereas with the Eagles, their voices should have been mixed higher, because that's what the Eagles are about. I don't care about all the guitar work and all that sort of stuff. It's about the harmonies.
So anyway, there was one point, I can't remember. Do you remember the lyrics to Tuesday's Dead? Okay, well, it doesn't matter. In the special features, you'll find a bunch of things. It's really nice. I like watching the Moonshadow Teaser in the Fire Cat animation. That was terrific. A lot of fun. That was the first time I've ever seen it, and I'm surprised because
I've never seen it. I heard Spike Milligan, apparently he did at least one part, maybe all the parts. Good old Spike.
But yeah, it was terrific watching that and listening to it. Both James and I think I just almost ate a bug, enjoy that song, Moonshadow. And it's funny, in that song he says, Moonshadow, Moonshadow. And so the second, like, it's usually Moonshadow, right? That's how it's should be pronounced, Moonshadow, right? If it's a specific kind of shadow, it's a moon shadow. right? He's saying what it is. So the moon gets the accent. Shadow, not so much. But
Well, you can kind of mess it around and say moon's, he's saying moon's shadow. Moon's shadow. So he can get away with it.
Yeah, and
but
he
does
gets
the
away
same
with it.
thing with Lisa, sad Lisa, Lisa.
Yeah.
But here
And
he can do.
Here
get
in
away
Moon
with
Shadow, he can do that. It works because, for one thing, shadow is its own word, and like James says, you could say moon's shadow, and or whatever.
He didn't
And
intend it that way.
No, but it works. It still works. So moon shadow, it works even though he usually gives the moon the accent, and at the end of the thing, the shadow gets the accent. It still works. So this song still works. But Lisa, Lisa, no, in Sad Lisa, that does not work. And in Tuesday's Dead, I can't remember. It was going through my head, and I guess I should have written it down because it was bothering me, right? It was something to do with the lyrics, and he might have said tomorrow or something like that, and gave O the accent or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was something. I don't know
Don't
what it
do
was,
that,
but
folks. Moon shadow.
it was in the chorus. So if you can remember the chorus, it'll stand out. I can't remember whatever.
That was, I
But
think, on the second album I bought of his, and I hardly ever played that one.
but what a catchy song, Tuesday's Dead.
Yeah, I know.
Very nice to hear. But in the special features, he was in this performance of it. Granada Out Front, 1971. I guess that's when he did it. This performance in the special features. I guess somebody or people must have asked, what does Tuesday's Dead mean, right? Because the song seems to make some sense, and then all of a sudden there's Tuesday's Dead, and what does that mean? So anyway, he says he has no idea what Tuesday's Dead means. It's just he didn't use the word filler, but what did he say? I don't know what he said. Maybe arbitrary or something. I don't know what he said. But anyway, he said it doesn't matter. He doesn't know what it means, and maybe you could tell him what it means or whatever. So, and that's the thing. I did appreciate that he was honest about that, and he just said, rather than just ignoring people and like figure it out yourself or whatever, even though he doesn't know what it means. He just filled it in, right? But I appreciate that he was honest about that. And I think a lot of the time, people, like, we've talked about Tori Amos's lyrics and stuff like that. Dreadful. Dreadful. She should not write her lyrics. She's an awesome, awesome pianist. And he's a great pianist.
He's pretty good, not like her.
Not like her.
She's actually got a pretty good voice, too.
Yeah, she does, yeah. But her lyrics, no, that is not
lyrics.
That's not
Get someone
poetry.
to do it for you.
So anyway, I do respect that he's not pretending that Tuesday's Dead is some deep thing that, it's just you haven't figured it out yet. Oh, well, I'm so much greater than you. Whatever. I do appreciate that. But at the same time, I think a lot of his lyrics are filler like that. He's just filling up. He has an awesome rhythm pattern a lot of the time for his songs.
Very catchy. And when you combine that with melody, he's got good sense of melody.
Yeah.
It's very catchy.
He's overreaching with the lyrics. He can't do it. God. So
underreaching over. I don't know what it is, but he is really bad with lyrics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but we're going to talk about them at a later time because somebody was criticizing our review of this earlier. So we're going to talk about. James still has to look through all the special features. I went through them. There's lyrics in here too, so you can go through the lyrics and go, whatever. But I mean, not all the lyrics for all of his songs are on there, I'm sure. But anyway, there's a lot of lyrics
for some of this.
Yeah. So I looked at them, and anyway, we'll probably use examples from from here rather than elsewhere, because we have these lyrics available to us. May as well go with that. And plus, we were wanting to review this anyway. That was the point. So we're going to compare at a later date some of his lyrics and what about them exactly works and what doesn't work, right? And
So
we're going to compare with
is...
John Fogerty, and we're going to compare with the Eagles, because that's what we were comparing with the day when somebody got very upset about the review that we made. So James is going to talk about John Fogerty.
Yeah.
And I was coming over, you may say, why is Pauline so dirty?
That's psychedelic kind of decoration you got on your clothing.
Because I did the tunnel today. These tomatoes were all from the tunnel.
Wow.
So that's a tunnel crawl.
Yeah.
And I was coming over here this morning.
Hands and knees. It's like Pauline's describing it as a crawl.
It's well, actually,
elbows
it's
and
not
knees?
not even elbows and knees. I have to slither on my belly to get get through the tunnel. So I use my elbows and I just kind of pull myself along. So, and then sometimes if I have enough room, I'll roll on one side and I'll look up, because there's often some right above me that are red or orange, right, just hanging above me. So, anyway, I was coming over and I had gotta crawl through the tunnel.
That's right. A little bit about Creedence.
Yeah, because that was very great to watch. Honestly, I'm not really a fan, but I don't think anybody is not a fan. You know what I mean? You have to respect talent. So
I'll just make it clear, vis-a-vis. You're going to cover that, and then I'll cover this. Is that how we're going to do it?
If you want.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay,
then
so Hot Salsa Lessons Volume 2. I don't know if you'd even need to do Volume 1. You probably should.
So you should, when you're doing anything physical, start right at the beginning.
Yeah. But
if you got a bad back, you're going to get in trouble doing this.
This is so awesome to watch. These two dancers, this couple, they're amazing dancers together, and they're very good at teaching this stuff. It's definitely worth watching, even if you don't want to dance. Who doesn't want to watch two people who are really good at what they do? So, yeah, this is terrific. Hot Salsa Lessons Volume 2, so that's why I made salsa, but I made sweet salsa. I did put some cayenne chili powder in there, but yeah, exactly. James doesn't like hot, he likes sweet. So I put a fair amount of pineapple in that. And I pureed the orange Roma tomatoes and that were seeded and juiced first. Like, I don't put them through the juicer, I just seed them, and most of the juice comes out that way, right? And then I added the cumin and coriander and what else? I don't know. I put lip smacking grapes in there. So yeah, it's a terrific salsa, and it's not hot at all. So
for people who are not familiar, lip smacking grape tomatoes.
Oh yes, not actual grapes.
I love grapes.
And they're delicious tomatoes. They are very, very productive. I don't know why anybody would go for many different types of tomatoes over this. Make it a part of your garden. These tomatoes are terrific. What do you think about them?
Great.
They're great. So, I'm going to weigh some tomatoes while James talks, so I'm just going to...
Just keep talking for a second while I finish.
Because you're enjoying that so much.
I want to finish.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should start you over for a new show.
Almost finished?
Well, like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. So, what else should I talk about? I guess I could talk about hot salsa a little more. So, oh, look at this. He says he's worked with or taught Renee Zellweger, Morgan Freeman. I don't know those other people.
If he actually got Morgan Freeman actually dancing, he must be a miracle worker.
Well, he's very good,
Mm-hmm.
and she's very good. I don't know. I mean, they both teach, right? But with this sort of dancing, the man leads, right? That's traditional.
Well, it
and,
seems as
and
though he's
so
leading
it
the
makes
teaching
sense that
too.
he is leading the teaching, right? And I like they use the same music all the time, so you get used to that song, you get used to that rhythm, and yeah, it's quite lovely watching them dance. They do a very good job, and they have like when he says, "Okay, this is what you need to do with your feet." Well, they have close up of the feet, right? And they'll slow it down, and they'll have he'll show you don't really grab, you don't hold hands, you just have it lightly on or whatever. It's interesting to see how it works out. I don't know. I mean, I'm never going to do this. I get this out, and I've never been a dancer. I don't think I have that. Well, I don't have flexibility very much, and I've never had that. Um, I've never been a dancer. I've never been good at stuff like that. So I like singing and writing poetry, but dancing, I don't know. It might be part of like just how I was raised. That's probably most of it. But anyway, but I've never done it. I've never danced. So, and James knows how to dance. My ex knew how to dance, and I don't know. I wonder sometimes, like, if like, do you feel bad that I don't dance? Like when you could dance?
I can't dance.
Well, you can't now because of your
No,
body,
I was
but
already having
back
trouble
then
with my back.
Oh, so you didn't.
I know
work
I
on
could have, if I'd had a better back, that I could have been a pretty good dancer, because I was able to teach myself as an adult how to play floor hockey, you know, like to the point where I was playing with guys who'd been junior B players, and I was outplaying them. No, it was partly to a
Oh,
large extent
I
cardiovascular.
think it is true because um, I think my ex probably did feel bad that I didn't dance because I remember you were trying to convince me to coach soccer with you, and I was thinking, interest in coaching soccer or doing any of
And the
that.
first time she ever kicked a soccer ball around, she remembered what I'd said.
Well, sure.
And she kicked with the inside of the instep.
It's just
the way you're
not
supposed
an
to do it.
interest of mine
Yeah,
to
you
do that,
got to be
right?
interested.
Yeah.
So,
So I think probably he did feel bad that I didn't dance.
aye, it's just right. It's okay.
All right, so you have a minute to talk about something, so you can.
Well, just about dancing. So I started playing basketball regularly as an adult, and I got to the point where I could beat a guy from one of the small southern Alberta towns, a very Mormon town. He's a very Mormon person. I could beat him at horse. It drove him nuts because he was probably one of the best horse players in Lethbridge. But I could beat him. I'd picked up that kind of technique. So I was playing against junior B players. Most of them had better, puck or ball handling skills, but I had better passing skills. A lot of that has to do with vision, so on and so forth, than any of those guys. They weren't trained enough to do it. But at any rate, I know